Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Todd from Like Minded Lunatics. Welcome back. Here we are for another drink, play, swear. That's all we do here. And I'm excited to bring you another one today. Before we get going, I do want us to talk about some other stuff going on in the channel. If you're new, please hit like, subscribe, and comment wherever you choose. Say nice stuff. We're going to take it down if you don't. And we're glad you're here. We are releasing now the Adventures of Hero Man, the old 40s style superhero radio show that Mark and I did a few years ago. We're releasing that in the YouTube format with some artwork from our friends and some new intros and outros for those. You can hear Mark and I talking and see Mark and I talking about that series that we put together that I really, really love. And we're also going to be recording some new stuff with the cast and folks who help us put it together, like Ricky Hall, who does music for us and wrote an original score and put some amazing sound effects into this, and Jim Longoria, who's like our Hank Azaria. The guy can do any voice that you need. So take a look to the channel for those. I'm really excited to play some games with you today. Here on Drink, Play, Swear, we pair a whiskey or a bourbon with a game of our choice. So what are we playing today? Oh, I don't know. Let's check it out here. Let's check it out. Yes, we're going, I did some super old ones the last couple, but we're going to go a little more modern, not from 1994, a little more modern. This is Super Punch-Out from the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and what better way to pair that with a true heavyweight itself? This is a Jim Beam I'm drinking it with. Jim Beam. Jim Beam. I put a lot of time and energy into these pairings. Hope you're enjoying them. Let's play a little of this classic. Now, I love the original Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Here, let's do Like Minded Lunatics. But this one I enjoy the most, I think, of the Punch-Out games. It's so fun. And you know what's amazing is just the contrast, the stark difference between the 8-bit games of the Nintendo and the 16-bit games from the Super Nintendo. Just an enormous change in quality that felt like the arcade was coming home. I'm not sure that another system has been that dramatic, you know. From PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3, you know, it was better, but it wasn't like this different, you know, from the Xbox to the 360. I mean, they get better, and the modern games are amazing and everything, but this, I mean, look at the difference here. I thought today I would talk to you about the time I was accused of plagiarism. Ooh. This is fun. Now, I am a writer of fiction and nonfiction stuff, and any other writers out there know that, well, being accused of plagiarism is one of the worst things that someone can say about you, because you take a lot of pride in what you do, you know. And so, it was really... devastating for me. So to give you any background you need on this, I do have to say that when I finished grad school, I didn't have a job right away, and so I had to take a couple of odd jobs. So I was unloading trucks at Target for a little while. Look at this dude. Whoa. I'm not doing very well because Gabby J is not supposed to have this much health at this point. There we go. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to look. So I unloaded trucks at Target, and I also sold vacuum cleaners for a very well-known company. Sold vacuum cleaners door to door. Just for a little while, I wasn't any good at it. It was an awful job, but it did get me an experience, an amazing experience that I'll never forget, which helped me to write a piece of fiction. After I didn't get the job I wanted, I went back to school for some more grad school in New York City, and when I was there working on my degree, I wrote this story about this experience, trying to sell a woman a vacuum, and we're going to put in the description a link to me telling that story in an audio form. I told that story for Texas Public Radio's Worth Repeating, and you can hear an audio version of that and just check out the description. So I got something good out of that experience. The story and getting to tell that story, a fictionalized version of it on paper. And when I was finishing up school in New York, I was excited to take a job teaching writing, and I wanted to get myself published as quickly as possible. So I started sending that story. It was called Selling Her. And it was about me having a moral trouble, ethical trouble, swindling people out of money. And I sent it out to a bunch of places. I sent it out to small magazines. I sent it out to some pretty big magazines, some that you would know the name of. I eventually got an acceptance letter, and it was one of those thrilling, exciting moments, getting an acceptance letter. And this was not the New Yorker, okay, but it was a pretty reputable lit mag. It was something that I was very excited about and proud of. I'm sure I told everyone I knew, several times, an annoying amount, how excited I was. So Selling Her was going to get publication, and super excited. Oh, look at this dude. Look at this dude. Hold on, let me see what I can do about this. I'm mishandling this. He could be on the ground by now. So, I'm excited. I'm on cloud 9 about this publication. And right before it goes to print, I get another letter in the mail. And it says, it's from the magazine, and it says, right before we went to print, one of our editors was reminded, after reading your story, was reminded of another story, a Raymond Carver short story called Collectors. After reviewing Collectors next to your story, we are unable to publish your piece, and we consider our contract form with you null and void, and we do not wish to discuss it anymore. Basically, it's over, just like it's over for this dude. I was shocked. No, it didn't say the word plagiarism anywhere, but that's what they were saying. What else could they be saying? So I told my wife, of course, and then the first thing I had to do was go find this story. I have literary anthologies coming out of my ears, so I'm tearing through, all these anthologies, and I'd read some Raymond Carver before. Anybody who does graduate study work in fiction writing is going to read the short stories of Carver, like Cathedral or a number of others. But I didn't know this one, the one that they had said I was to have taken from. But they did give me the title, and so I went looking for it. I didn't own it. It wasn't in any of my anthologies. And so I had to go to, I think, Barnes & Noble at the time. This is back in 2008. I had to go to Barnes & Noble and get a Raymond Carver anthology, or a collection, that is. And I read the story, okay? I read the story that I was to have stolen from. And look, I don't know what to do with this guy. He's going to take me out. Right? Look at this. Piston. Oh, man. So I read the story, and there is, near the end of Carver's story, a scene that is so similar to one of mine. And I had my wife read it, and I'm just standing there staring at her while she's reading it. Tense moment, and she raises her head up after reading it, and of course she'd read my story too, and she said, "I was with you." Look, he's going to do it again. I'm going to be out. I'm going down. I don't know the defense on that. I'm hitting block, but there's some kind of special block I'm not doing. I gotta knock this dude down. He can't do this to me. This is my show. This is not the Piston Hurricane show, is it? I don't think so. Look at him. He really does not want to go down. What? All right. So she looks at me and she says, if I didn't know you, and if I didn't know that the story you wrote hadn't really happened to you, and that we hadn't talked about it a bunch, I would think you stole it. So I was obviously upset, and the thing of it is that I sold for this major company who had been selling vacuums door to door. He's gonna do it to me again. I'm gonna lose. This is unbelievable. Oh, I was counting on beating like 7-8 dudes for you today, because I'm not awful at this game. But look, I'm not going to survive this. The kid's got a chance. And by the kid, I mean Todd Graybeard. He's got a chance. Come on. Oh! Okay, we're still alive here. So I call the magazine, and I'm just trying to explain myself. You know, I'm in a panic about this, and trying to explain the situation, and I want to say to them, hey, look, I sold for this big company. I'm sure that Carver was familiar with their sales techniques, because when I trained to sell vacuum cleaners, you sit for a week in a classroom and learn all the tricks and how to say things and what to do. And there was this one thing you did to try to sell someone, and that was that you asked to go into their bedroom, and you lift the covers back and the sheets back, and you put the vacuum on their mattress, and you just flip it on for a few seconds, and you show them with a little pad how much dirt you're able to pull and dead skin cells you're able to pull out from their bad mattress. And I put that in my story because that's what I was trained to do when I was a salesman, and that's what I did on the occasion that I was writing about with this woman in her house trying to sell her a vacuum. And I can only think that that technique existed back in the 80s, and Carver was visited by a salesman who did this. So I would love to tell these people this, but they will not take my call. I call once and the editor's not there. I call a second time and the receptionist makes a mistake and says, oh yeah, she just walked in, let me get her. Who's calling? I give my name, and I'm on hold for a long time. And then the receptionist comes back and is like, oh, my mistake, she's not here today. And I'm like, uh-huh. So long story short, they will not take my call. They will never respond. So I write a letter, an old school paper letter that I sign, explaining exactly what I told you guys. And that I understood if they didn't want to publish it, that was their choice, but I just wanted them to know that I didn't take the thing, you know? They never acknowledged me. Uh-oh. Yes. They never acknowledged that I sent them anything, and they wouldn't. It was like they, ghosted me, man. Before people were saying that, they ghosted me pretty hard, and it turned me off of the idea of trying to publish. And I haven't really ever tried to go the traditional route since then. Getting an agent, or trying to submit to regular magazines. I have more fun trying to submit little things. I'm doing okay against Bald Bull. He's pretty rough. And doing fun stuff like this. But I felt like I still needed to vindicate myself. It's a good uppercut. I'm telling you, the guy's good. You got to get the timing on that just right. He does 3 quick little bounds towards you, and you got to get him right before that third bound. Oh, I don't know what he's doing. Okay. I didn't know what he was doing. So, what I did that I thought helped to vindicate it was that, number one, eventually another magazine picked up that story. It was a small journal that was online only, and they don't exist to this day. They went out, they quit making stuff. They were out of Raleigh, North Carolina. But I felt, it found a home, and it went in somewhere, so that made me feel good. And then I started writing a novella about the experience. Get some fuel here. I wrote a novella about the experience, talking about it and talking about being so frustrated with it. And the first 4 chapters of that got picked up by Booth Journal, which they're really great. And so I felt better about it. I didn't feel as panicked about being accused of plagiarism. But it is not a good feeling. You know what I mean? Just a terrible, terrible feeling for that to happen. All right. I mean, I think we've done what we can here today. Maybe you want to see me lose to Bob Charlie real quick. Oh yeah, this is a great way to bring up something about the game that I wanted to mention, and that is that there is some terribly cultural insensitivities committed in this game, and I realize that it's supposed to be for comedic factor, but I don't think this would fly today. Like, all of the characters that are not white males have like a gimmick, and like this, this Jamaican dude, I'm going to say is pretty clearly racially depicted negatively. And then there's a Mexican wrestler dude later in the game. my buddy Jim, you guys know Jim, he came over. And he's like, why they always gotta make the Mexican dude a cheater, you know? Because he like spits in your eye and stuff. I just don't think it would fly today, and I wonder if that's why they haven't made another Punch Out, you know? Look at this guy. Oh man. So, Halloween season continues, getting ready for the big thing, for the big day. We decided this year in my house to do, amalgam costumes. So, like, we have an enormous trunk, in fact, 2 trunks of Halloween costumes. And so everyone in the family is going to combine 2 past costumes into a brand new one. We're thinking my son is going to be a tiger magician. I don't know. This is an example. But I got to get it together and get a pumpkin and everything. Because even though this COVID thing is going much longer than we all thought, I want to try to make it feel as normal for them and for myself as possible. I'm going to let this dude have it. Because, you know, they're not even going to let me quit. Anyway, hey guys, thanks for being with us. Tons of content as always coming to you. Drink, Placeware, hopefully weekly. Of course, you got your stuff weekly from Mark. He's always fantastic about putting those out. Your Friday night videos and your Monday matchups. And we're going to be releasing the Adventures of Hero Man stuff soon. So we got plenty of stuff coming at you. Hope you're having a good time. We're having a great time. Listen, if you decided to not go with this and you went with some Shirley Temples, it's time to finish them up. Okay. From Like Minded Lunatics, I'm Todd. See ya.